Good afternoon. This is Mr. Not Advice. It is Tuesday, July 21st, 2026, and this is for entertainment and education purposes only. What I'm going to go over today is simply how I reduce the amount of trade choices down to the ones that I actually want to take. For the source of the ideas, we have software for the paid members where it scans the market every day for all of my setups, then actually does all the math and the probability and all that good stuff. And so that's where I get a list. One of the things I just did, because this is actually a really good during earnings season. This historically, when a stock beats earnings and then upgrades future guidance, what will happen is it will take on average about 2 weeks for all the mutual funds and money managers and everything to increase their exposure to the stock. So there's more money flow coming in, and those stocks typically do well for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I just asked Grok, I said, hey, give me a list of stocks that reported earnings, beat earnings, and increase forward 1 year's earnings guidance by 50%. They got to be at least a million shares daily volume, be optional and over 10. And this said very few meet it. But so it did spit out a list, but Micron, okay, Seagate, Western Digital, this one, Keysight, first five, right? Dell, Hewlett Packard. And so what I've done today is I've actually gone through this list and I've got some symbols that I want to show you. And I want to look at these too, because ultimately what we're trying to do is catch momentum. Now, the caveat here is we are trading in a normal market, which we are not yet. So one of the things we got to take into consideration and what I have been doing is just sizing position down whenever I see something that's just looks to me like a great looking trade. So let me show you one that some of the members got in this morning, ONDS. And so this is where, let me move all my drawings. This is where it's really good just to use your eyes. Visual, just the visual check. The first thing you're looking for is a clean downtrend or a clean breakout. Just use your eyes. I'm looking for a good stock chart. And we had one yesterday. What is this? It's our favorite reversal called a low close doji, which, if you don't know, is simply a candle after a 3 candle downtrend. Okay, so you got it 1, 2, 3. After a 3 candle downtrend, within 1 to 2 days, the candle closes above the candle that made the low, above the high. We got it yesterday. This is a very powerful setup. Let's just take a quick look. I've got 7 stocks. Here's Applied Materials. Why did this pop up? Number one, I got a low closed doji. KLAC, another low closed doji. Look at that. GLW. Okay. Bull, Webull. I have a breakout right here. Okay, so I got 3 reversals, 4 and 1 breakout. There's another one, Rambus. What do I have? Low closed doji, ASTS, and then finally OSS. Right? What do I have? A low closed doji. So out of all those, I have my favorites. So mine were GLW, Bull, okay, and OSS. Now we start applying, okay, looking at some of the indicators. So on AMAT, what do I like? The first thing I'm going to look for is the 45-day standard deviation channel. Is it going up or down? Right? Because I want to go long when the longer term trend is in my favor. Good. This one's in my favor. Let's look at K. What was your? So we agree no KLAC. Same thing. All right. Going up. GLW. For those of you that voted for GLW, and that's my number one pick, what do you notice about this action going down versus a AMAT? Which one looks cleaner? You see when I say cleaner? Look at this. If you're looking at this, and let's zoom out. Which downtrend looks cleaner? To me, GLW does. What else do I like? Both of them are bouncing. Both of them are in an uptrend. Both of them bouncing about -1 SD. Don't have resistance above me on either one. To my eyes, GLW, out of all the ones we looked at, has the strongest downtrend. Everything else, the previous ones look like AMAT, okay? Lots of chop on the way down. ASTS, there's a gap. Whenever you get a chance to trade a gap, that's an excellent trade to take because there's already existing momentum. Oh, and by the way, I already have a piece of paper out, and literally on each of these, I have on the top ones, I've got pluses and minuses. This is the broad way I rank these. So, what don't I like about ASTS? Well, I don't like it's in a downtrend. So that goes on the minus side of the column. What do I like about it's in a gap? That goes on the plus side. GLW. First, we start with the chart. Hey, what do I like? Oh, I like the fact that it's bouncing at the minus 2SD, a stronger technical reversal level than the 1SD. What else do I like? Look left. It's bouncing at previous support. That gives me on the plus column. Right. Let's go to OSS. What do I like? Very clean reversal. I don't like the fact that what? It's in a downtrend. That goes in the negative column. What else don't I like? Well, see where it bounced right here? Actually, that's good. Previous break level, resistance level is where it bounced. That goes in the plus column. I literally do this for every pick, and this is how I get down to a couple of them. And, right? What do I like? Uptrend, that's a plus column. What else do I like? Bouncing off the 50-day. The 50 or the 200 as a bounce level is stronger than this standard deviation channel. You know why? Because it might just be me and all of our members here that use this 45-day standard deviation channel. But the 50-day and the 200 are universal. So to me, that goes in the plus column for AMAT. Is it at bouncing at previous support? Yeah, but not as good as DLW, it's previous support, right? Then I start looking for, and I didn't do Webull because it's a breakout, so I got treated a little differently too. Then I start looking for, do I have room from where it is, where it closed, the high, to where the next price discovery level ended? All that means is, where did price previously try to go up and fail? Right here. And you can see it's right in this area. So I'll strike a line there. And how much room do I have? Well, from 564 to 614 is about what, about 8%? So I write that down. I'm like, okay, I don't reach resistance until 8%. GLW. All right, where's my next resistance? Pretty easy to see. 50-day moving average, which also is where this candle tried to go up and then failed. 194. So from 162 to 194 is 32 points. So about 20%. Then I go to ASTS. Where is my first area of resistance? Way the hell up here. 50 to 200 and a point of control. None of these candles where they tried to take it up and they failed. So what's that? 84 bucks for ASTS. And 84 from 63, let's call it 20, plus 30%. OSS. See how price tried to go up and failed? So right here is my line of 1433 from 1392, about 3%. So what I have written down now, GLW I got 20%, ASTS I got 30, OSS I got 3, and AMAT I got 8. So if I rank them now, I'm going to rank it possible gain. ASTS is number 1, GLW number 2, OSS is off the table because I barely have 3%, and we need 3% for a move to make at least our first scale. So I cross that one out. AMAT has 8%. All right. So I would call that number 3 for the reversals. Now I look at my score. GLW had positive. I didn't see any negatives on the chart. Moving sideways, previous support. All right, plenty of room. Reversion to the mean trade, minus 2SD. ASTS had one negative, which was it's a downtrend. And then AMAT, two positives. The first one was that it's in an uptrend. Second one was that we're bouncing off of the 50-day moving average, a very strong move. So I've done 3 of them. from a list of approximately 15. What I've just done is I've broken down a long list down to three reversals: GLW, ASTS, and AMAT. Now I will look at indicators. Number one is ASTS, number two is GLW, number three is AMAT. Let's just start with that one. First, start with we already did this one, right? The 45-day. Now I'm going to look at the MACD. MACD is a measure of buy or sell momentum. It doesn't look like I don't have a divergence, meaning I made a new lower low, but the MACD didn't go as low. So that's neutral. But what do I have? I still have pretty dang strong sell momentum. Let's go to ASTS. What do I have here? I have divergence. See this swing low? Look at how low it was, the MACD. Now look at this new lower swing low. Look at that. The MACD didn't go as low. What does that tell me? That tells me that sell momentum is dying. So if I had to compare ASTS to AMAT, this looks better because of this momentum indicator. So I'll put another plus in the ASTS column. Now we're going to pull GLW. Doesn't look good, does it? Strong selling. And there's no trend that the selling on the MACD is getting smaller. The only one, the result of that was that ASTS got another check in the positive column because when I look at trades, it's the sum of all the variables that I look at. The math, it either works or it doesn't. Either the hypothetical price projection is going to be sufficient enough, given the IV, that I can make enough money on the option, or I can't. But I don't even go to the math yet until I make a decision on which one of these I actually want to put through my math calculator. What do I notice on GLW though? I've got earnings on 728. It's 721. I've got enough time, but I know that I'm going to have to be flat that trade within 6 days from entering. So 2 days off of the calendar for the weekend. I got 4 days. Put that in the minus column. So far the score is GLW has 1-1, positive and negative. AST has 2-1, and AMAT's got nothing negative. The only reason why AMAT scores slightly lower is because ASTS has more room to the top side. GLW moves down to number 3, and AMAT moves up to number 1. I did AMAT, ASTS, and GLW. I did that, in 10 minutes? And again, it's purely based on the chart. You're looking for not only the reversal, but also how much room do you have before you run into into resistance. You got to have enough, at least 3. So now I will put this through the software and it will tell me whether or not the math works from a probability standpoint, whether or not number 1, AMAT, number 2, ASTS, number 3, GLW. I've distilled it down from 15 it went down to 7. Now I'm down to 3. And depending on the math, GLW might entirely drop off. But GLW's got that extra negative because I've got earnings coming up. So the problem with that is, even if I'm right, even if this carries through, I've got to be flat to trade before earnings because we don't want to trade a binary event like that. All right, Webull. Here's the breakout at a high of 789, where we closed today, 815. So the first thing I'm going to do is do this. I want to go to the left, and I want to find where my next area where price tried to go up and failed. Here it is, 865. So from 815 to 865, I got about 50 cents. 5 over 8 is 7.25%, right? 0.725? 0.625. Yeah, 0.625. So I got about 6% on Webull. Nice uptrend. I don't have any overhead technical resistance. Good. How about the MACD? Oh, that's a positive. Why? It's green. So there is buy momentum in it, where all the other ones were all sell momentum still. For Webull, I would rank that probably up there, number 1 or number 2, because it's in an uptrend, a long uptrend, not just a reversal like ASTS or AMAT. Here's ASTS. Obviously, this isn't a downtrend. I'm fighting the trend, and this could turn into something larger, but To be honest with you, probably not. Where has price previously stopped before? The plus one SD. See the orange line? That's what we call trading between the ones. So it's probably going to stop right in this area. But we've got, 30% to that level. That's great. So we got plenty of room, but it's the downtrend why this is not the top pick as opposed to AMAT, which is the top pick. Uptrend. Now I look at option pricing. So I'm going out to September. AMAT's off my list. Why? Look at how much the freaking at the money options are. Now, what I will do is go hunt for a ultra. If there was an ultra for AMAT that I might be able to trade into, but now I'm down to GLW, ASTS, and Bull. Okay, so let's go through GLW. And here's what I'm looking for. I want there to be some open interest. And people always ask, well, how much? And I'm like, well, you sort of know when you see it. This is healthy. Oh, that's pretty healthy too. So I'm looking at ASTS, and what do? I cross it off my list. Why? Because it's too expensive. And that matters for this reason. The way I trade is I want more number of contracts, because the more contracts I have, the more scaling I can do. We have a rule. You scale 50%. Well, if I can only buy 2 contracts, that means my first scale, but then I have 1 contract left. I don't want that, as opposed to GLW off the list. Why? Look at how expensive it is. So GLW is gone. So now I just crossed off AMAT. I just crossed off ASTS, price of the option, and I just crossed off GLW. But I want to go back to the contract count. I want to trade something like this, where I can buy 4 or 6 contracts. I'm talking about the model portfolio. Why? If I trade 4, I sell 2 on a scale, and then I have 2 more scales left. It's not a binary decision, right? It's not a yes, I should keep it and let it run, or no, I have additional scales. I had to cross OSS off because there wasn't enough room to the top side. That leaves me with Webull out of all of them. I look at the Septembers at the money, and now something just caught my eye. I've got they're cheap contracts. But look at what I see here today. This is the volume today. Here's a standard rule. If I see 5 digits of open interest or 4 digits of volume, that gets my attention. But what do I have here? I've got massive volume today. 31,000 share contracts went off here. I don't know if they were covered calls. I don't know if they were short-term trades, but what I do know is that's 3 times the open interest. So Webull just got even more interesting to me. 3x the open interest. Then I go back to the chart. What do I like? Going up. Previous breakout failed. This was your previous breakout level. And now it has been powering up. So out of I went from 15 to 8 to 4 to, I've distilled it down, starting with the visual inspection of the charts, and then distilled that list down to 1 single pick. All right, folks. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me.
They ain't got no muscle, no hustle, no backbone. I stand alone, not tripping, just saying.